Hawaiian Airlines operates a fleet of A321neos that often end up getting completely overlooked in comparison to the airline's iconic 717s, or their large fleet of wide-bodies. This isn't really surprising since the A321s mostly serve on their secondary routes to smaller mainland destinations. Given that, I decided to give one of these unloved aircraft a chance, flying from Long Beach to Maui. I hope to see you there. Welcome to Long Beach Airport. This is my first time here, and I'm already loving it. It was super easy to access, and from the parking garage here, we are just a few minutes from the terminal. So, let's get going. Long Beach is the second smallest of the 6 commercial airports serving the greater LA area. It's almost entirely dominated by Southwest, with only a few Delta and Hawaiian flights a day. Despite its small size, it has a long history, most famously serving as a major production site for Douglas. The central terminal building is super cool. It's a historic landmark that has kept its original design from 1941, although it now serves as a landside car rental center and airport admin office. The rest of the airport is a bit more modern though. I'll be skipping check-in today since I don't have any bags, but if you plan on checking a bag with Hawaiian, the first one goes for $40, a little bit more than its competitors. Just past security, you'll be met by this outdoor area that serves as a great place to wait for your flight when the weather is nice. The gates and stores are all located indoors on either side of this area. Our flight is using Gate 2 today, which is right in here. Here we are, just 15 minutes to go from my car to the plane. This is November 223 Hotel Alpha, a 6-year-old A321neo delivered to Hawaiian in 2019. It's one of 18 A321neos Hawaiian uses in a relatively new role. Since their inter-island network is completely covered by their much-loved 717s, and their fleet of A330s and brand new 787s covers their long-haul and high-capacity destinations, these are placed right in the middle, serving secondary West Coast destinations like ours, or helping to connect the smaller Hawaiian airports directly to the mainland. And time to board. Boarding on Hawaiian is pretty straightforward, with premium cabins and status holders boarding first, then economy, and finally basic economy. Long Beach continues to keep things interesting. All the gates here board via stairs, which means great views. By the way, I have a new camera and microphone to capture these views. I hope you appreciate the upgrade. All of Hawaiian's aircraft are given native Hawaiian names. Their A330s and 787s are named after constellations and stars, their 717s after Hawaiian birds, and their A321s after the plants and forests of Hawaii. Ours is named Hau, the beautiful sea hibiscus tree which was traditionally used to create outrigger canoes. Hawaiian's A321s have 189 seats. At the front of the aircraft, you will find 16 Collins Aerospace MIQ First Class seats, a very popular seat for domestic first and premium economy worldwide. Behind that, the main cabin, containing 44 extra comfort seats and 129 economy seats. Extra comfort seats are placed at the front of the cabin and near exit rows. Definitely make sure to avoid row 15, with no recline thanks to the exit, and no window. That's rough. The extra comfort and economy seats are Collins Aerospace Pinnacles, which you can also find on JetBlue and British Airways A321s, as well as much of Delta's narrow-body fleet. Overhead space is good, with nice modern pivot bins. And here's our seat, 38J. That's right, J. Hawaiian offsets the letters to keep standard with its wide bodies. These seats come with an adjustable headrest, both vertically and on the sides, and a quite generous amount of recline. Overhead you will find your standard air vent and reading light. In front of you, a literature pocket containing a magazine, which we will check out later. Just below, instead of a seatback screen, you will find a device holder, and next to it, a USB-A socket. The seat also comes with a nice full-sized tray table. And below that, a seatback pocket with the safety card and this little separate pocket for the sick bag. These pockets are missing sides, which is a bit of a pet peeve of mine, but it's not the end of the world. Aside from that, the legroom is just shy of being enough for me. The extra comfort seats provide an extra 5 inches of space, but when I booked this flight, it cost an extra $90. A bit rough given the flight itself was just $140.
Again, once everyone's in their seats, we can close our boarding doors and be on our way. Mahalo and welcome aboard.
Hawaiian, unsurprisingly, really leans into the Hawaiian music, but I don't mind. It actually creates quite a nice relaxed vibe, much better than Delta's. It's pretty cold today and our plane has been sat here overnight, meaning we get a very smoky startup, something I actually don't see for myself too often. I always find it fun to see general aviation aircraft like this little DA-42 taxiing around large jets like this. It isn't all that shocking to see though, given Long Beach is actually the 6th busiest general aviation hub in the US.
Exit the aircraft. Inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab in front.
On behalf of us here at Hawaiian Airlines, thank you for flying with us.
Crew, please be seated for takeoff. Mahalo.
And that right there is my absolute favorite noise in aviation, caused by this aircraft's geared turbofan spooling up. And it looks like it's time to take off. I'll stop talking for a minute to let you enjoy the takeoff and rejoin you back in the air.
And ladies and gentlemen, now that we're in the air, we'd like to call your attention to the no smoking fasten seatbelt signs located above your heads. Again, smoking of any kind is not permitted on board this aircraft, including the use and or charge of their e-cigarettes or vaping. And for now, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. If you're in need of further lighting, there are lighting buttons located on the panels above you. Mahalo.
Welcome back. Now that we're in the air, and there really isn't much to look at outside, let's check out the in-flight entertainment. As we already saw, this aircraft has no seatback screen, a decision I find pretty baffling given that Hawaiian's A321s are flying 5 hours minimum to get to and from the West Coast. To make up for it though, at least a bit, we do have this nice device holder. I really think these should be standard when an airline chooses to skip the seatback screen to save your neck. In case you forgot to download something to watch, like most airlines these days, Hawaiian does offer a pretty standard set of stream-to-device movies, shows, and music. You will also find an in-flight map, but I've got to say, the UI is kinda lacking. While Wi-Fi wasn't offered when this flight was filmed, which is pretty common for flights over the Pacific, Hawaiian has since rolled out Starlink Wi-Fi on all of their A321s and A330s, with their Dreamliners soon to follow. It is apparently quite fast, and even more impressively, free. If you want to do some reading instead, Hawaiian does also provide a full in-flight magazine. By the way, some close-ups will be a bit blurry since I'm still trying to figure out this camera, but that'll be fixed on our next trip. Anyway, the magazine contains plenty of local stories about Hawaii, stories about the airline's future, and terminal and route maps. You will also find a list of buy-on-board options, which includes things like blankets and earbuds, chips, ramen, and snack boxes. Speaking of, I decided to try out the snack sampler box. I won't lie to you though, the standard meal service arrived shortly after, so I put the snack box away and then forgot about it until the end of the flight, but I'll show it to you first anyway. I'm a professional, I know, which is why you should like and subscribe for more high-quality flight reviews like this. Well, the snack sampler box is exactly what it seems, a selection of a few random snacks. You will find chocolate and caramel popcorn, chocolate-covered rice crackers, some salted and onion macadamia nuts, and the highlight for me, the toffee and chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. All of this comes in at $12, which I think is definitely a bit overpriced. Most of the snacks are fine on their own, but this feels a little repetitive. Anyway, now to what had distracted me from the snack box. Hawaiian actually provides a free warm meal service for economy, the only US airline to do so for domestic flights. You will get some variety of sandwich or bread roll, depending on the direction you're flying and the time of day, although of note, red-eyes only get drinks. On this flight, I ended up with this croissant turkey and egg sandwich. For me, it was fine. It's a prepackaged microwave sandwich, so don't expect much. There was also supposed to be a cookie handed out at some point, but that never happened on this flight. The meal of course also came with a complimentary drink, and I went for ginger ale. I got the can, but no cup to pour it in? The one major downside I find with the service is the lack of options. If you don't like the specific type of sandwich they serve, you're out of luck. Adding a second option with different meat, or even a vegetarian option, could really improve the service for some. To be fair to Hawaiian though, other US airlines don't give any options beyond the standard tiny snacks. If you have ever flown into Hawaii before, you will probably recognize this. The state will use this form to track any plants or animals that may be a threat to the unique island ecosystem, although it's also a great way to track tourist info. When flying into Hawaii, make sure to bring your own pen or pencil, since, at least on Hawaiian, the crew will not be of any help. Thankfully, Hawaii recently introduced an online form that is available for most domestic passengers. Given the length of this flight, you might end up needing to use the lavatory. This aircraft has 4 in total, with 1 in the rear, 2 in the center of the economy cabin, and 1 up front for first class. The economy lavatories on this aircraft are actually pretty spacious compared to most narrow bodies, and the floral wall print goes a long way to make it feel a bit more welcoming than most. Something really worth noting, and that you have probably already heard, is that Hawaiian was purchased by Alaska last year. Don't worry too much yet though, they claim to be committed to keeping Hawaiian as a separate brand. Still, some changes are coming. The main piece of news is the transfer of all 787s over to Alaska and the basing of a few A330s in Seattle for Anchorage and Tokyo flights, but they will be getting a much needed refit. At least the A321s will likely stay right where they are for now. On the passenger-facing side of things, I haven't seen any planned changes to the service you are seeing here, aside from the merger of the airline's mileage program and the ability to book their flights together, which I think are positives. Still, Hawaiian's future will now always be at the mercy of the Alaska executives.
Quickly, for those of you seated on the right side of the aircraft, you can see Maui, those on the left.
Finally, something pretty to look at. This is Maui, the second largest of the Hawaiian Islands, and home to Kahului, our destination for today. I'll let you enjoy these beautiful views, and meet you back on the ground.
With your seatbelts securely fastened for the short remainder of the flight. Mahalo and welcome to Maui.
Crew, please be seated for landing. Mahalo.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kahului Airport on the island of Maui. For local time is 11:26 a.m. And on behalf of Hawaiian Airlines, but most certainly your crew, it's been our pleasure bringing you safely to Maui. Until we can serve you again, we want to extend to your warmest aloha and mahalo. Hui ho, until we meet again. Have a wonderful day.
Well, that's cool. While Kahului isn't a military base, I flew to this airport at just the right time since the Air Force is hosting exercises in this area. Overall, I've got to say, I'm happy with Hawaiian's A321s, but there are a few things they could have done to really bring them up to the top tier of US airlines. First off, the lack of a seatback screen is a bit of a letdown given the length of the flight, only saved by the device holder. The lack of Wi-Fi hurt a bit, but the airline has since fixed that, so credit to them. The main drawback for me is the food service. While I would normally say a warm meal service is above and beyond for US domestic flying, and it is, the lack of a choice can easily ruin the experience for some, which could be so easily fixed by simply adding a second option. Still, Hawaiian is a great choice when flying to Hawaii. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Sorry it took so long to make, I was on vacation last month. Next up I'll be exploring this really cool airport a bit, and continuing the journey aboard Hawaiian's famous 717s, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you there.